You gotta tag trains, he said, twirling a spray paint can like a six-shooter. Walls are nice and all, but how are people as far as St. Louis and Cali gonna see your name? Now that's immortality. Train tracks crisscross this country like the river Lythe, where truth is what is remembered, embedded into the soil and into our history, into our memories, as mighty engines rumble over uneasily sleeping ground. Outlaws used to rob trains, conquering the expanding force of civilization that had carried them to the west, like unwanted children vomited them onto unfamiliar ground, only to have them return in a prodigal blaze of bullets and perform manifest destiny on the cargo that slept in its belly, where they had refused to sleep. One graph artist said, "I can't afford no billboards. This is my billboard." One slave said, "Here is your freedom," holding aloft a gun. Others preferred to make their voices heard through the soles of their feet rather than the barrels of rifles. Their feet, which metamorphosized into wheels as they rumbled through the Underground Railroad, liberating property, not as outlaws, but as contraband. They stole themselves in plantation holdups. And wasn't John Henry trying to hold up progress when he challenged that train to a duel? Yeah, they had to use that steam-powered, powerful engine to push his dead body off of the tracks he laid with his two slave hands. They dumped his body at the side of the road, imported Asian labor to drive rails through his still warm shell, the blood from his burst heart mixing with the screams of stolen land, stolen red land, while Chinese exclusion laws were forced to build the Industrial Revolution on John Henry's back. They rode trains over that brother until he disappeared, became a breathing part of the earth. Rails expanding like lungs, breathing out locomotive trains, which during the Depression transported hobos from one end of this country to the other in a period where times were hard for everyone and a whole lot harder for some. Ask the Scottsboro boys, or at least the one remaining, because when these young men tried to ride the rails to escape crushing Southern poverty and sharecropping destinies, they found themselves at the end of a courtroom noose. Freedom of movement comes with a price for those who are still contraband. Just as spray paint cans are contraband in a place with no free walls, only blank walls, only prison walls. So static and lifeless you long to see paint and words and pictures fly by in a blur. You long to see yourself fly by in a blur, embedded into boxcars coloring the countryside at every stop, dripping pieces of fear and sweat and pride onto the blood-soaked stolen land where once outlaws dared to defy the unquestioned faceless authority of the train tracks, which still cut this country like a surgeon's blade. Just as nightly train yards are defiled by voices screaming to be heard from tags rumbling across the country, etched into the side of manifest destiny, now that's immortality.